Hello, this is Pagan here. If you're watching this, then you must be a real fan of the Revan lightsaber, or you're a fan of Vader's Vault products. And what I have with me is a New York Comic Con exclusive. Never have been released until a much later date to make this available. But I was very fortunate enough to have ordered this. This is pretty pricey hilt, but it is worth it. This one is a NEOPIXEL saber. Now let's look at the details from Vader's Vault. You will notice that it is all powder coated with matte finish. Each of the designs are machined. These intricate designs in the middle. And this, what really fascinates me is the detail in the middle. Now this middle is machined, crafted into a dome shape with the LED lens on top. And this is your aux switch. And not just that, aside from Saberforge and Ultra Sabers that currently make this kind of run, what really stands out the accuracy is the little details. These two little square and a rectangle, and these little circles right over here, and the little rectangles on the side. But you get the idea that this is intricate detail. This is actually the most beautiful thing I have, and I've been asking for this last year when I met Deanna and Alan and asked them when will they have a Revan inspired hilt along with the other saber, which I have in my hand. This one came out first. This one is known as the Vader's Vault Rev N, and this is the Revanchist. Notice the size difference. It's as you can see, this is a little bit longer due to the blades up front versus the pommel. The pommel is nice and circular and round. You will notice that this one has speaker vents coming out. You could see it, whereas this one, this Revan model, has little holes across the side, so it's left unexposed, so you can't really see that. So this is a sleeker model. This one is the Star Wars The Old Republic, and I really love the detail, and also the handle. When you fit it across your hand, when you dual wield, it's not bulky. It's very nice on the hands as a one-hander, and this is accurate. This is the most accurate saber you've ever seen, because not only Vader's Vault paid a lot of attention to detail, but they have the original artwork to make this kind of detail. Notice that it has a groove along the line. You see that nice little square and rectangle follows along the line of the groove to this little edge. The prongs are a bit sharp, so you have to be really careful. And it comes with a custom machine blade plug. Now let's turn this on. And it shines red. It's not RGB, and it's just a red LED. And if you turn it on, this one is the original Rev N. This one uses a Crystal Shard version 3. This one uses the latest Crystal Shard version 4.5. They are both fantastic sabers. This one is NEOPIXEL, and this one uses this traditional RGB tri-cree LEDs. So if I were to do the motion, you hear that pitch? That high, low. This is low, high, low. I couldn't do the force on this one. There you go. That's the force. Force grip. That's one of the new features. This is a new feature from the new Crystal Shard board. It has a one force feature when you hit the auxiliary switch and the main switch at the same time and move in a direction where it can do a little force power, whereas the original CS version 3 cannot do that, unfortunately. But the only way to have this little force effect is by pressing the aux switch and the main switch at the same time. As you switch color, it would create a little force effect, whereas this one can also do the same thing with the aux and the main switch. When you toggle colors and you make a force power, you could do this differently by pressing at the same time without switching the colors. But that is a really nice feature for the Crystal Shard. I don't think, actually I could be wrong. I might not be pressing the main switch at the same time. So let me try this one more time. Okay, so actually you hit the aux switch and you move to create a force effect. Of course, you can make a force effect by pressing the aux and the main switch as you change colors to make a little force effect as well. But this is a really nice addition when you hit the aux switch and move to create the force effect. But look at that blade plug. Alright, so let's try out this new NEOPIXEL and let's see how it goes. When you order NEOPIXEL, you'll come with a business card, a wedge, or you can use, this is a guitar pick that says www.vadersvault.com. It comes with this Allen key, as well as a Trustfire charger. So for those who are looking for in-hill charge, you won't get it for this one. As you can tell, it uses its original Delrin chassis. So if you take it down, it takes a while for the pressure to go downwards. You'll notice that they use the same Delrin chassis with nowhere to put in the in-hilt recharge, which is a bit of unfortunate. Although I do wish in the future that they would make it separate, like another one, like a little thin piece where they can put a in-hilt recharge and the speaker would come out and attach in, so it saves space. But you know, there's no 3D printing. This is just all Delrin. It uses a 18650, but it's covered in a PVC heat shrink. So this to cover the battery, but this is a Trustfire battery. It's the same thing as the other one. So to put it back in, you just have to gently wedge it. Oh, on top of that, you will notice that they change it from a 4 GB down to a 2 GB, which makes sense because you can't add a lot of sound fonts for this saber, and 2 GB saves a lot of money in terms of production. So you can put it back in like so, gently slide it in. Okay, and use the custom machined pommel to force the chassis inwards. You will also notice that there is no drilled holes for a CoverTech wheel or D-ring, which is pretty unfortunate. So the only way I could think about hanging is to hang it through the back and create a little D-ring here, but I would lose the sound. But yeah, let's try the new NEOPIXEL. All right, just have to unscrew this. This has pogo pins, so it does have a little bit of pressure coming outwards. So if you put it, the blade plug in, you have to squeeze it in. See? And then you take it out like that. This is a custom blade plug for NEOPIXEL, which is pretty awesome. Alright, you see that there's little prongs. Alright. Oh, I think I hit it this way, yeah. Alright. Now you to make sure that when you put a new NEOPIXEL in, you're gonna have to make sure the contacts are clean, and when you put it in, you want to make sure it's nice and tight. So I think I made an area where, yeah, okay, there. Just have to squeeze it up. Let me try it out. Now it's really difficult because as you put pressure in, your hand would somehow slip and hit one of these prongs. They do pinch, and they are kind of sharp. So you have to be really careful as a word of precaution. So you just have to pressure fit. I don't think I need to use an Allen key too tight, as it's already been pressure fitted. All right, nice and sturdy, and let's watch it in action. All right, this is a new NEOPIXEL Revan. I am not endorsed by Raiders Vault. I ordered this from a New York Comic Con exclusive, and like I said, it comes with a NEOPIXEL blade, and it will run you about around like $800 or so plus tax, and it comes with a blade plug, a NEOPIXEL blade plug, which is a pretty awesome deal. Unfortunately, the downside is that it has no CoverTech, but it comes with a charger, an Allen key, and a guitar pick. So let's fire it up. The laser attacked that. See? Pretty cool. I never hold it at NEOPIXEL like this. Pretty awesome. Really awesome. Now let's change colors. New spectrum mode allows you to toggle any kind of color. So I like to use red. So you hold it from the main switch, and it down. I like that power off effect.
Revanchist.
Actually, I was wrong. To lock it down, you had to aux switch, not the main switch. Again, this is my first time holding a NEOPIXEL, so I'm trying to understand all these features. They have a flame effect, which I'll be hopefully demonstrate. And that's a mute mode. I believe I pressed the aux switch and hit the main switch at the same time. But there is a mute mode, which is really handy in case you want to a duel, and also you don't want to make it loud for your roommates or your parents on some sort. But anyways, this is a mute mode. You don't want to disturb any of your friends, roommates, parents, or whoever you use your NEOPIXEL lightsaber as. This is really loud. Okay, so I'm going to figure out where the other one is. Okay, so it actually mutes as you power off.
Revanchist.
There's got to be a flame effect somehow.
Revanchist.
So you gotta hit the, as you turn it off, you gotta hit the aux and the main at the same time for a mute effect. Okay. That's a nice little blur effect. It doesn't really have instructions. That's the disappointing part, because I'm not really understanding how NEOPIXELs work in terms of getting the effect that I want. Okay, to recap, this is sold only exclusively on Vader's Vault. These are machine made. I believe these are individually made, and they are limited edition. And this goes very well with this as a pair. So you have a CS 4.5 NEOPIXEL and original CS version 3, which doesn't have that other additional features. Now let's do a little comparison between other Revans I have in my collection, as I am a Revan cosplayer and I enjoy the storyline of the Knights of the Old Republic, along with the Old Republic, as well as Sith Lords, as he made a little cameo. Alright, so you have your newest Revanchist, the original Vader's Vault Revan, and you have the Saberforge, Fallen, with its real brass and real brass metal. You can see the comparison. It's bigger than the Vader's vault. And last but not least, that not a lot of people heard of, is Oxworks. This is the Oxworks KOTOR. These are machine made. Not a lot of them are available, as these are run by limited quantity by an individual from Sweden. So this one is what's really interesting about this KOTOR was the buttons act as tactile, and this one uses a Pico crumble. So you have a Pico crumble, and you have to watch out, this thing rolls around. You have a Crystal Shard version 4.5 from Plector Labs, Crystal Shard version 3, Saber Core 2.0, Crimson Soundboard, and this one is a Plector Labs Pico Crumble version 1, and has a RGB. So you could tell the comparison from front to back. And this has the same kind of thickness as the Saberforge, and these two has a nice little thin diameter, a little slimmer diameter on the front. So this one will always be one of my favorites, as well as Saberforge's Fallen. What I really like about it, what it really appeals to me, is the real brass that they use on the emitter, and it's just a pretty nice hilt, and as well as Vader's Vault. Although I'm not really a big fan of the powder coating, I just wish to have some kind of like a real brass in there as well. But this is machine made. Let me just put this away. This thing is machine precision, and unlike Saberforge's Revan style hilt that they have, you can see that they have 5 on the prongs or the rim. So you'd see 5, which is pretty inaccurate, but you don't see that detail, what really stands out across any kind of hilt from the game. And this is very well done. And anyways, I hope you enjoy this video, and if you have any ideas how you can use NEOPIXEL to do all these other features, let me know. Anyways, this is Packin signing off. Peace.